And welcome back to Otaku News Live for April 25th-ish, 2011, talking about the anime and manga news of the week. And we've got some stuff to talk about this week, and I have with me a full cast of internet freaks. No, I'm sorry, Otaku. And I have with me, beginning with Brad Nipperite. How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing good, Brent. Hello, you, and hello, lovely people.
Hello, hello, hello. And also with us, as usual, Matt Dixon from Life and Tims of Anime. How you doing?
I am fantastic, and just because it's a slow week doesn't mean I will talk any faster or any slower than the speed of light.
Okay, I will take you at your word. Also, we have with us a strange mushroom man named Mini-Man. How you doing?
Oh, wait, I was mentioned third. Okay, first, worst, second best, third's the one with the hairy chest. Damn it!
Okay. And also, Rising Zan. How's it going from Otaku Underground?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ONL. Rising Zan here, and Mini-Man, it looks like you just received a life.
One up. Wait, stay. What is it?
So let's get started here with the news of the week, starting with probably the big one would be about the final episode of Madoka Magica, which is the recent sort of deconstruction of Magical Girls series. Puella Magi Madoka Magica aired its 12th and final episode, and basically 22.6% of all households in the Kansai region with a television on at 3:10 a.m. were watching the final episode of this Magical Girl anime. So that's 2.3% of all TVs, period.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's weird. The one I decide not to follow is the one that gets huge.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Now, to be fair, 22% of all TVs that were turned on at 3:10 a.m.
Yeah.
is not a lot. Not, you know, everyone else are also watching anime, basically, or ShamWow commercials. So basically, you know, that's what you're getting. That said, I mean, you know, the fact that they managed to get that huge of a slice of the market is big.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I'm not trying to be a fanboy here, but the show is good. There's actually ANN news report about it. They basically did like the top rated anime of the season. Number 3 was Twarum Nusumu Index, No Index. Number 2 was Infinite Strauss, and number 1 was Madoka Magica by a large margin.
Yeah. It's certainly been probably, you know, the fan favorite of the past season. The other thing that helped was that the final episode was going to be broadcast at the end of March, and then something happened at the end of March, which pushed it back. So basically, fans have been waiting, you know, almost a month for this episode. Since it was when it finally dropped. Like, finally.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I couldn't believe that Charlie Sheen left 2.5 minutes. I mean, I was.
I know. I was heartbroken. I mean, I had chest pains, and I was crying. It was awful.
Yeah.
And I know they said they didn't want to release it in March because they didn't want to be associated with Rebecca Black's Friday.
Ah, true.
Yeah, definitely. But going back to the Madoka thing, it was actually for 2 reasons, I think. One, obviously, it's Tsunami, so they had to, like, do news reports.
Yeah.
But also, 2, the stuff that happened in the last 2 episodes was very similar to the Tsunami. It was very, you know, apocalyptic.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but also as well, what was it? Oh, the studio Shaft, when the tsunami was happening, they actually got a crack on their ceiling, and they're like, oh my god, the apocalyptic thing that they called in the anime is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Walpurgis Night, very German. Very German name, but yeah.
Walpurgisnacht.
Yeah, it's like Walpurgis. Anyway, but yeah, it's definitely a really good anime, and this is the charm to watching every single anime, at least the first 3 episodes.
Yeah,
I did.
Most of us didn't, but that's okay too. So yeah, huge work, and just, you know, good to see a work that has, you know, has really gotten a lot of attention finish it off well. You know, where it's okay,
definitely.
Boom, done.
I'll probably check it out at the end of the anime.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
When things get slow, I'll probably check it out, but I'm the sort of person who just takes his pick, and I'm never a winter season man, so fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas 3 years and enough people telling me to watch it because it's ocean. I will still tell them to quit.
Yeah, Chris told me the same thing when I was talking on Skype anyway, but let's go on.
Yeah. And it's 12 episodes. So
So
it's not like it's a tough, a tough sell. All right, moving on to gaming news. Oh, no, not again. So this is
controversy begins.
Yes. So no, Good Smile and Bandai Namco have announced Nendoroid Generation, or probably Nendoroid Generation.
Yeah.
Which is will be a role-playing battle and dance game for the PSP. I love it.
Only in Japan.
Yes, absolutely. And all of the announced characters include Black Rock Shooter, Dead Master, and Black Gold Saw from Black Rock Shooter, Saber, Rider, and Rin Tosaka from Fate Stay Night, Nanoha and Fate from Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha, and Haruhi Suzumiya, Mikuru Asahina, and Yuki Nagato from Haruhi Suzumiya. So that's a pretty darn impressive roster. And that's just who've been announced so far.
Yeah. With those kind of games, when they try, when they do crossovers, they don't just do 2 anime crossovers. They do every anime, and it's every popular anime, and it's every anime that people will go, oh my god, I know that person, and that person, and that person, and that person, and they even do a couple of, like, under the wire animes with a lot of the games I've seen like this. They do, you'll be like, they do it in most games as well, actually, when it's crossovers, where there's just like one character you're like, who's that? And then you'll find out, and then you'll watch whatever they're in, and then you'll be addicted.
Yes.
And then you'll spend more money on that product.
And you'll find out they were from, an OVA from 1985 that, no one's ever seen since, but was this huge phenomenon in 1985.
Yeah.
And they don't even look like the character they used to anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also seems to be that Japan loves doing crossover video games. I mean, Final Fantasy Dissidia, Jump Ultimate Stars. I mean, it's just so great, especially when you get anime characters involved. Like, who doesn't want to see if Luffy can beat the crap out of Ichigo or something like that? It's just and also they do it so good as well.
It's also the 3rd Japanese game with the word Generations, which was actually debuted this week.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
That's
We've got
interesting.
Nendoroid Generations, Sonic Generations, and Mega Man Extreme Prototype Generations.
Completely long and pointless name. Could it have been Prototype or Generations or just like?
No, because Prototype is the most violent game ever.
That's true.
True.
But look at Super Robot Wars.
Oh yeah, that was another example.
Jeez, we're gonna license 10 different anime series and all smash them into one game.
They still need to get Gurren Lagann on there, I swear.
I know. Oh, I'm sure it's coming. It's got to come.
Yeah. Which one was it that I remember seeing an advert for a game which had like the stuff from Code Geass in it?
That would be Super Robot Wars. Yeah. They finally got Code Geass
was in that game?
Yeah, the most recent one had Code Geass.
Oh, I think the latest one that I saw was had Eureka 7 in it.
Well, it may have had Eureka 7 as well. I mean, they licensed all sorts of stuff.
That's true.
Because they the most recent one I know had that. They had Macross Frontier. I think I think Gundam 00 as well was in the most recent one. Yeah.
At least there's one country out there that can pull off crossovers.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's true. Only you managed to make Marvel vs. Capcom good.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom is a thing as well.
Zan, just a thing on your point earlier where you said Japan likes making crossover games. Everyone likes making crossover games because the obvious thing, they sell. There's always... It's like a game about Star Wars will only appeal to Star Wars fans, or maybe, the odd FPS fan or whatever. But a Star Wars / Indiana Jones / Superman, yes, I picked those at random, video game would sell to Star Wars, Superman, and Indiana Jones fans.
But the thing is,
it's the best way to make money.
But the thing is, I don't think we never see that because licensing is so hard. Is the issue.
Yeah, we see more Japanese people doing it. Look at Smoosh. Every single crossover game you can think of is done by a Japanese publisher or game creator. Marvel vs. Capcom, Super Smash Brothers, Nintendo. I can't think of a single game that's a crossover that isn't Japanese involved.
Wasn't there a Marvel versus
DC Universe?
There's one. That's one. Okay.
So we have one.
Well, most of the crossover games from the States, were the older stuff, you know, the stuff that doesn't have a name anymore because it was known by old people. You know, because the West has more moved on to more explosions, less story, less need for characters.
More Michael Bay, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, Final Fantasy 13. Oops, sorry.
Don't go there.
Not now. Not now.
Vengeance Bayonetta and you're dead, man.
And oh gosh, I dropped the call. Imagine that. How did that happen?
Still remembers that they announced the Final Fantasy 13 too.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I
True.
know that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Five for that.
I'm with
Air 5.
Yeah. No, but and so on this Nendoroid Generation game, we still don't have a release date or price or anything. I think it's one of those things they just kind of came up with it and started throwing it together. So we have a long way to go before this comes out.
So this is like a dancing fighting game?
Role-playing, battle, and dance game.
That doesn't sound weird to me, which is strange. Says probably more about me than it does about you.
I'm trying to
So
figure
it
out.
sounds weird to me because they're already doing one, and it's actually I'm not kidding. They are making. If you didn't know about this, a Michael Jackson MMO.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
And you dance your opponents to death because he didn't believe in violence.
Yeah.
But you still
You can still take a baseball bat to a car.
You can still see how this kind of fits, though, can't you? It's like fighting, regardless of how violent it is, has a rhythm. Dancing has rhythm, and the RPG element. Well, that's just Japan. That's what Japan likes to do.
True. It's like Cydia.
Jeez.
What I'm kind of curious about is how they're going to integrate the two. Is it going to be a system where, like, you do a dance, and depending on how well the characters do the dance, is how well your attacks go? Is it, you do attacks, and then based on who wins, you get a dance? I just don't understand.
I think it's going to be like a dance-off,
Dance off?
There is one.
Yeah. Like, it's like one person dances, and then, like, another person dances.
Right.
Like that.
I like
Well,
how dancing.
There's a game that's melded strategy, battle, and rhythm games before. Patapon.
Okay, how does that work?
If any of you ever played Patapon, which is a great RPG.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, patter, 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 pon, walk forward, attack, patter, patter,
Yeah,
pon.
that's what I was
okay.
It's more of the way, it's like very loosely taking the word dance. It's just a rhythm game.
Okay.
There'll be dance moves in it, that's kind of, again, Japan does that kind of stuff. It'll be more quick time eventing, where you, sorry for the people who don't know what a quick time event is basically where you've just got to press a button in a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Play the game Heavy Rain and
like
you'll have 10 hours of it.
Pressing combos, doing a combo, and then that will launch an attack, and sort of a back and forth of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's rounds where it's just straight up brawling, kind of thing. I have to exactly picture how they integrate combos, like combo button pressing, and then just plain fighting.
Yeah.
Well, what they could do is it's like a dance-off sort of game, like Dance Dance Revolution sort of. You do something like that, and then the loser gets pissed off and starts to fight you in a Mortal Kombat sort of way.
Yeah. Finish Haruhi.
The only thing I want to see is I can't see how Haruhi could.
Oh.
Thank you. I don't see how Haruhi could fight Nanoha, so Nanoha could just fire Spring Twilight Laser Beam, and Haruhi...
Oh, it's like anything.
I'm concerned about seeing Deadmaster chop Haruhi in half with her scythe. But again,
well, it's the other funny thing is, if it's about characters dancing, Saber, the Fate Stay Night characters are not the kind that I expect to see doing, J-pop dancing,
Maybe that's where it's integrated in the fact that, certain characters you play as are the characters, that you would see doing either fighting or dancing.
Yeah.
And then certain characters are just in it, as a
true.
campaign
True.
kind of thing.
Maybe.
You fight them.
Yeah.
Like a tag,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
tag team, like Haruhi versus someone in a dance, and then Saber comes in as a tag team and fights for her.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So and seeing the thing, you have Black Rock Shooter and Haruhi as dancers, Fate Stay Night and Nanoha as fighters. So you'll have, you can attack using dancing or attack using fighting using, whatever characters you have. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Well, we'll have to wait for the trailer to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Especially with Japanese games, you can't, just with the announcement, with American games, it's pretty easy to predict how it will be, even just with the announcement. It's like, okay, this is a Gears of War clone, just from the announcement. But with Japanese games, it's,
you don't know what the hell they're going to do.
What am I going to be doing in this game?
It's true.
You are complete, and that's a good thing about Japanese games is you don't know what's coming, so you are interested. Thus you research. Thus you spend time. Thus you buy the game.
Yeah.
And they have money. It's true.
What's the? There's a Penny Arcade comic about some game where they're talking about. So I'm playing this game and your mana has HP. Your mana has HP.
Why do you do that?
And it's one of these Japanese games, and then you have to collect hearts and place them into boxes, and then destroy the boxes to get points for your mana, which then recharge. It's one of the. Why did you design it that way?
If you want the best point of this trailer is awesome, that doesn't show me what the fuck I'm doing from Japan, Akuma's Wrath.
Oh really?
Oh my god, greatest trailer ever. He's fighting a boss the size of Earth. And he has 4 arms, and he punches so hard his arms start falling off. And like breaking to pieces. It looks awesome. And no one knows what the hell is going to happen.
I'm guessing that just sounds like, that actually does kind of sound predictable. Devil May Cry.
Trust me. It's Devil May Cry on drugs. Even Bayonetta doesn't stand a chance against this freak.
Exactly, but you can still kind of tell what you're going to be doing. Playing Devil May Cry with different skins.
True.
Trust me, if you look at the trailer, it looks more like Shadow of the Colossus. But with,
well, then we know it's going to be like Shadow of the Colossus.
You're not proving your point, Miniman. Trust me, anyone after this show, search up Akuma's Wrath, look for the trailer, the debut trailer. It's just freaking ridiculous.
Sounds like fun.
Also, the Japanese are the only people who ever create a card game where it actually works like how it does in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you put a card down on a metal table and it actually has like a hologram of it on a screen.
Ah, nice.
In arcades, Japan's like one of the few places that you can only play arcades. They're actually really good games.
That's true.
I have Judgment on the PS3.
That's another thing too. Actually, is Japan has retained a very strong arcade culture. Which is not true in any other country in the world, as I know of.
I think it kind of annoys me that they're releasing it on the PSP, because I just sold my PSP to get a 3DS.
Yeah.
I know they're not going to bring it over here anyway, but still.
Well, no, there's no point getting a PSP now. You just get the NGI, which is PSP, the new PSP, which looks
NGP.
awesome. Well, same thing. It still looks awesome.
Yeah, I know, but I still want to have a 3DS because I have one, and it's in 3 dimensions.
Useful for a guy who's colorblind in his left eye.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
So actually, speaking of Haruhi, see how I did that transition?
Fantastic.
Wait, that's
amazing. Amazing.
I've ever had.
Has
anyone got like party poppers or something?
So,
have a background Pokemon battle. Let's do this, Sam. Mike, stand.
Okay, Brent, carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we now have confirmation from Katakawa Shoten, the publisher of the Haruhi Suzumiya novels, that the next light novel will actually be split into 2 300-page volumes. That's a 600-page light novel. I'm sorry, it's not a light novel anymore. Anyway, they're going to be printing 513,000 copies of each. So they're going to print over 1 million individual books just for the next volume of Haruhi, The Surprise of Haruhi Suzumiya. That's a lot of books. It's a lot of books, and granted it's Haruhi, huge, but still, that's, whoa. The other question I have, actually, which I'm going to see if I can show folks here, is that they posted the cover art for these two. What I want to know is, who the heck is the girl on the right?
I wouldn't know because I haven't seen the new cover.
I threw it up on the stream.
I don't have a stream on.
And I'm wondering if anyone in the chat room.
His long lost sister.
Does anyone in the chat room? Does anyone know what the heck this thing is?
I do.
Who is it?
if I'm correct, on is this book 10?
I'm not sure.
On one of the latest book before the last one, the second to the last one, is set in 2 dimensions, sort of. And one is if a certain girl who Kyo knew when he was in middle school, I think.
Satsuki?
Yeah, if a young girl that he knew from then appeared back in his life and then stopped him from meeting Harry and all of that thing, that's his girlfriend.
Well, that would explain it, because they've said in this announcement that the limited first edition of the set, I love that they have books with limited first editions in Japan. They'll bundle a special booklet containing a short story called Rainy Day, which is about Hyun's time in middle school. So I think that fits pretty darn...
That'd be the one.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we have a new character to fantasize about. Yay!
But yeah, I'm guessing if it's a character that Miniman has explained, I'm guessing it's Satsuki. I haven't read much past the 4th book. Yeah, the 4th. I've read about half of the 5th one because again,
apparently he doesn't enter until last book.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Satsuki, especially if it's because there's the whole romantic thing about Satsuki before book 10 anyway.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So he's very, very likely Satsuki.
Okay.
So yeah.
No, there we go.
There you go.
Mystery solved. According to Mainichi Shimbun, over 16.5 million copies of the light novel series from Haruhi Suzumiya have been published so far in 15 countries, and half of those are in Japan. So yeah, that's Haruhi right there.
I can't whistle.
For those wondering, the 5th light novel will come to North America in June, so we're about halfway there in terms of that. So good on you, Haruhi. Let's see here. Let's move on to a piece of news that lightened my heart personally, mainly because of a certain anime series that I watched recently. There's gonna be frickin' new Rurouni Kenshin. Yes.
Still haven't seen any of them.
Most haven't.
I'm up to volume 6.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
I saw Brent's review.
Hey. So basically, for those who don't know, Rurouni Kenshin is, I believe, a 22-volume Shonen Jump title released in the 90s. There was a TV series that was made in the 90s, and unfortunately, they did 2 seasons following the part of the manga. They cut off with the manga. The 3rd season's filler was so bad that they canceled the anime.
That's how it always is, though.
That's how it always is.
It's always the filler's fault.
And it was in fact so bad that the director announced to fans, in payment and to show how sorry I am, I'm going to make a totally serious, totally awesome OVA, telling some of that story and doing as much as I can.
And thus Samurai X became.
And thus Samurai X was born. The Kenshin OVA, Trust, Betrayal, and then Reflections. The 2 OVAs.
And also, that's also part of my prize pack for
exactly.
Yeah, those are them right there.
Yeah,
Advertisement.
And the OVAs are dark and serious and bloody and very, tough stuff.
Pretty much, which is the opposite to the fruits basket. You can win if you enter our OV contest.
There we go. So basically, that's one of the interesting things is you got this serious, very adult and not just in the blood and gut sense OVAs out of it, but it's basically taking I don't know 10 volumes worth of material and telling it in like 6 episodes. So it really contracts it down a lot. So the question is, and the really big question, because all that's been announced is that there will be a new Rurouni Kenshin anime, is this going to tell that final storyline, that final arc, which really tells off the story? Is it going to be a remake? Is it going to be a completely new storyline? I don't know.
I think it's going to finish up the arc, honestly. That's what I would think at least.
It certainly seems most likely.
I know nothing about Rurouni Kenshin. Quickly Snorlax, panic for me.
I mean, regardless of it's like how anticipated the this is going to be, if is the finishing up the arc. It's it's been a while since.
Yeah.
Not that it's been this long. So for the start off, this guy's not going to be in the set, or whoever's doing it's not going to be in the same mindset.
Right.
Yep.
As it used to be. So
They're probably going to re-air some episodes then, or remaster them HD. That's what they usually do.
Yeah.
Like a warning to the fans is prepare to be very disappointed.
Well,
it's like that regardless of how good it is, you will be disappointed.
And
it will not be the same. Because, unless it's like I don't know, Satan's godchild.
Well, and it's not going to be, it's not going to look the same.
No, that's me.
It was done using traditional cell animation. They can't replicate that anymore. So, at the very least, it's going to be a different visual style. The other thing is, the director is now working on Gundam Unicorn. That's his current project. So I don't think they're going to be able to pull him off of that for this.
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing, but I'm expecting just sort of a schizophrenic kind of more filler.
I hope not. I don't think so personally, because that's what screwed them over. So I think they're gonna stay far away from that as well.
Yeah, but it'll probably be they might try to finish up that arc, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna jump into filler to pay for that.
Well, that's the thing is that even if they just finish up the arc, it's going to be like a 20-episode series.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine them saying we're going to do a 20-episode series of a Shonen Jump title. So do they remake it? Do they decide we're going to do that and then another 2 seasons worth of other stuff? I don't know. And the other thing is they could totally bring in the mangaka Watsuki and say, okay, you did that. If you had continued on the story, what other stories would you tell? Sort of bring him in and get him to give them, what they would have adapted into the anime later on. That could work. I just don't see. Yeah, I just don't see them, launching this just for the appeasement of the fans, the few who are left, complaining that that one arc was never done.
Yeah. Well, I think also they're going to finish up the series. That could be a possibility. But also, there's actually tons of extra Rurouni Kenshin material. There's even a light novel the mangaka wrote.
True.
I think it either depict. Oh, I know the story after the manga. It's the after story where basically Kenshin and I can't remember the cute girl's name have a baby and. What's that kid's name is the new kind of Rurouni,
Yahiko.
Kind of taking Kenshin's place. They
can are you thinking of the manga one shot that he drew?
Probably the one shot, yeah.
Yeah. I had it was published in Shonen Jump and brought over here awesomely.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, and that's another good option is they could be deciding to do that sort of Kenshin is passing on to Yahiko, his basic apprentice in Kenshin.
Yahiko. Yeah, and by the way, main man, for everyone out there who doesn't know about Rurouni Kenshin, let me just describe it like this. Trigun with samurai.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
for those
exactly.
of us who haven't watched Trigun. Those are the 2 British hosts.
Samurai Champloo.
No,
not as goofy?
What?
Watch more anime! No.
Random, but totally different.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like Twara Majutsu no Index, but not but one thing we've got to consider as well is, again, this happens a lot with remakes, and again, Brent and I were talking about Batman earlier, and it's happened with the Batman cartoons.
Yeah.
What if it's not made for the fans? What if it's just this was popular then, what if it's popular with the new generation?
Yeah.
That is always, and probably a big possibility, because, appeasing the fans doesn't make money.
Yeah.
Sadly, it just doesn't. Only going for the fans will not make money.
Especially not for a series. Especially not for a series that 15 years old.
Yeah, exactly. But new people won't even know that it's a remake. They'll just think, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah.
And that makes money. But again, it's like just going for the fans. There might be a lot of fans, but you will not make a profit.
Yeah.
If you're just going for the fans, you will, all the money you will spend will go to waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got to go for the new guys.
So that's easier for me to understand. I'm going to pretend that the rest of this conversation and that previous part was about Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, well,
what Matt just said reminded me. I hate it when reviewers say, "Oh, this is a remake. It was totally unnecessary." When you're remaking something, you're reintroducing it to a new group of fans.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's a remake shouldn't be something to pin like a -5 on it.
Yeah, the word remake is just, in the reviewing and in our position, because I'm guessing that all of us have done this before, is just this horrible word because it's remake. I hate this show.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's saying 10 years they remake One Piece to target Zan and the man who is waving his hand. Or they remake Haru.
Yeah.
I am very likely to say, oh, it's a remake. I'm not interested. You know? Because you hear remake, you just go there.
Well, that's kind of what they did with Dragon Ball Z Kai. I mean, it even has the word Kai in it, which means remastered.
And I think that's one of the problems is that we're so used to remakes not
sucking.
Yeah, kind of sucking.
There's a difference between a remake and a reimagining.
Yeah, well, it's also part of the big question, especially for something like Kenshin. Partly because Kenshin was amazing. Basically everyone who's seen it has said, "Wow." So the question is, can they make something that stays up to that level of quality without just remaking, redoing it shot for shot? And then if they spin it off in another direction, how is that going to work? I'm totally up for it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But
okay, well, here's what I have to ask everyone and you four as well. Have you heard of Fullmetal Alchemist?
True. Good point. Yeah.
And have you ever heard of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Well, basically, there's actually kind of like two camps now. People who like Fullmetal Alchemist, the original anime, and people who like Brotherhood. I personally prefer Brotherhood, even though I like the beginning of Alchemist, just because it has some pretty interesting filler, and they focus on certain... Anyway, before we go on to the next... Zan Rants, that's pretty much one of my things. Anyway, before we go on, one example I can give you, Matt, for comparing Rurouni Kenshin. Outlaw Star with Samurai in Japan.
Sounds awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, with a lot more moral ambiguity. Not like ambiguity.
Moral stuff.
A lot more moral stuff. Characters who are struggling with their
moral stuff.
No. I love Outlaw Star.
It's awesome.
But Kenshin is okay. So, quick capsule why we're talking about Rurouni Kenshin. The thing about Kenshin is that the character himself is an ex-assassin who feels so bad about what he's done that he's decided to never kill again. But because he was as an assassin, he's constantly being hunted by other people who he ran into in the past and he wronged and so forth. And one of the big questions is basically, can he morally and ethically behave like this and kind of pretend that those things didn't happen? Not that he does that exactly. And kind of what are the consequences of leaving that kind of life behind? And then the question is, how much can you do? What can you do without having those ghosts come back to haunt you? So.
Yeah. Also, that's very goofy.
Nothing like Phantom.
I wouldn't know.
For starters, this is like 10 years before Phantom, so there.
Nah.
Gotcha there.
And I wouldn't know if I haven't seen Phantom.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Phantom may have traveled through time, you never know.
Yeah, for starters, that's not a part of the main story. That's more like backstory, which we never see. What we do see is basically just like Kenshin seems to be like this goofy Ronin, which basically just like wanders around usually, but like he tends to like this anyway. But like he wanders around, acts really goofy, but when stuff happens, he gets really serious and just like, and it's like, what just happened?
See, I wouldn't say he acts goofy. I would say he acts carefree. He can be goofy at times, but he's a wandering, happy-go-lucky dude. And then this stuff. It's one of the things is that in Trigun, for example, Vash is very explicitly trying to be goofy, so that people won't think he's a threat. Kenshin doesn't really care about that. He's just trying to live out a good life, and he has pratfalls and all that kind of stuff happening to him. Yeah. So it's different, but so the reason we talk about it, interesting character, interesting stuff going on with him, and so interesting to see them doing a remake of it. If you want to see Rurouni Kenshin, stop by a little site called Streamsuki.com.
Streamsuki.
Yeah. It is streaming legally, and there are links to those streaming episodes, so you can.
Also has a very awesome English dub song.
It does. Actually, the English dub of Kenshin in general is one of the stronger, 90s dubs. It's not quite up to the quality of later ones, but it's fine.
Actually, I heard a reviewer say it sounds exactly like the original Japanese song.
It's amazing. That is very true. In fact, one of these days I'll have to pull up both of them and play them for you guys. It is play them for the chat room. It is just like
it's uncanny.
Whoa, that's really scary. And like there are several different. There are I think 2 different songs that they do the same way. I think it's the same singer in English, and she matches both of them. It's like, so very cool. And it's like a weird high pitch. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty good song.
It's a pretty good song and a pretty good anime. Okay, so other big news of the week, Nico Doga now available in English. Wow.
Yay, we get leak dance sooner.
So Nico Doga is kind of the YouTube of Japan. It has a different feature set than YouTube, and it is very, very popular among the otaku crowd. If you've heard of things like, gosh, what are some of the things that have dropped? I'm forgetting their names now.
Leak dance.
What's the
Caramel dancing.
Caramel dancing. A bunch of others were basically created
anything linked to a Vocaloid.
yeah, absolutely.
Also, don't forget any sort of remixes of Kirby Sky High.
Oh, also the new one, which is like move down, booming around. It's a crazy dancing thing.
Fair enough.
Neon Cat was from Nico.
Oh, right. So
wait, Neon Cat, and currently I'm on 212,380 seconds. Nico Doga is a major, it's kind of like, Fark or You're the Man Now Dog or whatever, these other huge meme-generating sites. And so now you can go to NicoNico.com.
I think Pedo Bear is by Nico Nico. Either that or 4chan. Not sure which.
Yeah, I think 4chan. Anyway. But anyway, so you go to NicoNico.com. I actually haven't gone there yet. I'm going to try it right now as I speak, which is kind of scary.
I'm a member of the original site, so I was able to sign in.
Cool.
The front page is totally different, and they don't have access to all of the videos on Nico Doga.
Okay.
It seems to be organized in a funny way where they're only premiering like fully English things.
Okay.
They've got a few Japanese videos in there, but not a whole lot. It looks like they're just working on a beta to get you used to their layout.
Gotcha.
And they're gonna slowly move you into the full Nico Doga site.
Okay. Yeah, I'm already seeing you get the scrolling comments across the top. It looks like they've got a couple of Japanese guys, or at least Asian guys, interviewing cosplayers, like cosplayers at an American con.
Yeah. Now, copy.
Oh, SakuraCon live coverage. That would explain it.
Have you seen the main site?
No, I'm going to go and log or try to register right now.
It's right here. The link I gave you, it's just the front page, and that's what the real Nico Doga looks like.
Okay.
Totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently this is a completely different, interface to that. So let me see if I can create an account on Nico. No, I don't want to use Facebook.
Probably one of my favorite things they put on Nico Doga was they had the Gurren log-on characters and basically gave them the Super Smash Bros. Brawl costumes. So for example, they have Simone and make him look like Marth.
Nice.
And I think they made they made Kamina into Ike, and they made Anti-Spiral into Game & Watch.
Cool. So there's regular Nico.
Let's
see if this works.
I visit Nico Doga a lot because I like their I can't say it, but basically their cover song section, which is where a bunch of normal people like YouTubers do. They just cover a song, usually a Vocaloid song or something. They do so much better than us Americans.
I believe
it.
It.
Actually, practiced.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just like, I like the song, I'm just going to sing it.
Yeah.
I've thought of a great idea to get me hired by Funimation and get lots of views. Do cover versions of songs as brief.
Ah, there we go. That would certainly
hurt.
That would certainly get attention. No question there.
We love Dangerous Love Bandy.
Yeah, the same kind of attention a cat gets when it's singing outside of your fence.
Shoot to the face.
Bingo.
But the most popular at the moment are the things that are the worst.
So
The bad things.
So here's the interesting question. What is in the NicoNico.com terms of service agreement? Ah, now we have an interesting question. I pasted it into a document. My gosh, this is long. Let's see here.
Exciting week on Otaku News Live. Brent Newhall signs into a website while we talk about random crap.
And he reads the terms of service to you live, word for word.
No.
Must be 13 years of age, everyone. Very important.
I'm going to read you the health and safety information on my 3DS.
Let's see here. User content review. It's actually fairly straightforward. You may not interfere with the service, circumvent, reverse engineer, take it apart. Let me see here. You agree not to use the service content that engages in, induces, incites, assists, blah, 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 illegal or dangerous actions, including illegal or underage alcohol or drug use, that harms or exploits minors in any manner. See here. Defames any person or business, collects or reveals personal information of any other person, depicts identifiable persons without the content of such persons, to use their names, voices, photographs, and likenesses. So anyone you show on Nico Doga, you must have permission to put their photograph up there. Deletes, modifies, or conceals any copyright, trademark, or other proprietary right markings or notices. You may not threaten, abuse, stalk, blah, 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 blah. You may not discriminate, express hatred. Wow. Or demean a group on the basis of ethnicity, religion, race, gender. You may not post material that is violent, gruesome, vulgar, offensive, indecent, obscene, sexual, or pornographic, including child pornography, contains nudity or that is otherwise objectionable, as we in our sole discretion may determine.
Between the times of 12 and 7.
It may not engage in, advertise, solicit, or promote commercial activities, auctions, products, or services in any manner without our prior written permission. You may not impersonate or falsely claim an affiliation with someone, commit fraud, discloses confidential information, depict animal cruelty or abuse, or would be likely to induce, incite, insist, encourage, or instruct others to engage in any of the foregoing. Woo!
That's definitely the American version, because the Japanese version of Nico Doga has some vulgar stuff on it.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, the other thing is that YouTube has the same, terms of service.
I was going to say that would mean that all the videos on YouTube would be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no 2 girls, 1 cup.
No.
Actually, Nico Doga, the Japanese one, has an 18 and plus section on it.
Wow, interesting.
I'm pretty sure it does, yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'm pretty sure so does YouTube, because, otherwise, we have, privacy for stuff like that. Hey,
well, you don't have a section. You don't have a specific section where you can access it, but it does have, you must prove your age kind of thing.
Yeah,
It doesn't have a specific section you can go to.
Right.
First for us as a phantom, you have to prove your age.
Yeah. Isn't that
typing in a number?
Isn't that like a 13 or over thing?
No, they made Phantom an 18 plus in the English.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright, so I just tried to sign up, but they haven't sent me my email yet, so who knows?
That'll take a while, probably.
Yeah, that'll probably take a while. They're probably overloaded. Always annoys me.
Moving on.
So moving on, kind of interesting. Well, actually, the final news item of the week is a sad one. Osamu Dezaki, the famed anime director, passed away this past week. Excuse me, from lung cancer. He was 67. And he directed, among others, and I'm going to try to say all these without hiccuping again. Aso Narai, the Air film, Ashita no Joe, Blackjack the movie, the Clannad film, Genji Monogatari, Golgo 13, The Mighty Orbots, Nobody's Boy Remy, The Rose of Versailles, The Snow Queen, Space Adventure Cobra, Treasure Island, episodes of Astro Boy, and several Lupin the Third TV episodes and specials. He had a very unique style. He worked with Tezuka, and he co-founded Madhouse. So, yeah.
Oh.
Major...
Classic anime right there.
Yeah. So, pretty...
Plus, they co-founded Madhouse.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He is survived by his older brother Satoshi Dezaki, who is also an anime director, actually. So, yeah, very sad. He passed away at 12:35 a.m. on April 17th due to lung cancer. Apparently, he smoked constantly. So, very sad, though.
Yeah. We salute you, my friend. We salute you.
Absolutely.
Owen V salute, everyone. Owen V salute.
Yeah, we salute. Brought a lot of joy into our hearts. So, I think that'll do it for Otaku News Live this week. Anything else we want to talk about?
Question of the week.
The question of the week would be an interesting topic.
That would be an interesting topic. That would be a very good topic, actually.
Goals.
So that we'd actually
You're
talk
the one who
about.
started it, and you haven't remembered it once.
It's sad, isn't it?
He remembered it last week.
Yeah, he did.
That is true. I did remember it last
He
week.
remembered it last week when he cut the what this question was off the end of the video.
It's true. Though technically
I
that
think that was because of Ustream things.
that was a Ustream died on me, but still, yeah, it was embarrassing.
At least put it in the description.
Okay, so let's see here. I only got a couple, I think. I see one here that came in actually today. So the question is, what is an anime character that you started out loving and ended up hating? And I mean that you loved and ended up hating.
I've had so much freaking problems with this.
Me too. So the one response I've gotten is from Izzy Ziegel, and his answer is, I really like Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho at first, but as I got farther into the series, he kept becoming more and more cheap. He followed the same pattern as most shonen anime. Almost get killed, then get some new power, and totally destroy the enemy. Now I just hate that character. I really thought Yu Yu Hakusho would be different. So that is certainly one. Let me see. I thought I had gotten one more, but it looks it didn't get through. Nope. The other is side characters. So that I think will do it for that list. I thought there was one other, so that's maybe got misfiled. All right, so that is for that. So let's start up there with Matt Dixon. Matt, do you have a character that you started loving and ended up hating?
No, actually. I spent a while thinking about this question. I was just honestly, all the anime characters I liked, I've always liked. Some of the characters I hated, I started loving, but they've never been, I've never encountered something where it's been that bad, or it's taken that rapid descent that I stopped liking them.
Fair enough. How about you, Miniman?
There is one. I just need to try and find it because I wrote an entire forum post. But it is. I called it "Where Angel Beats Went Wrong." Here we go. It is Hinata, the blue-haired guy from Angel Beats.
Oh, okay. Wait, it's a guy.
Okay. Wait. Does anyone mind? There are slight minor spoilers about one of the episodes.
That's fine. That's
Do
fine.
you mind if I read the thing?
That's fine.
Hinata, when Angel Beats started, we all thought you were awesome, but thanks to one event, I now hate you, and this is why. Warning, spoiler alert. Episode 10 made everyone's favourite annoying little freak disappear. Now she had an odd relationship with the baseball-happy blue-haired combat everything guy who died of either an accident, or some people theorised it was actually drug-related. Anyway, this little pink-haired freak both loved and hated him at the same time, for comic effect, of course. But what Hinata does at the end makes me despise him forever. Now, I'm happy she disappeared so beautifully. It was cute and lovely. But let's face it, did he really love her? No, that arsehole just wanted him to go. I mean, look at her. On the last episode, he doesn't even flinch. Go see her. He doesn't really say anything. He says he'll marry her, but he's not in for commitment. He implies that a fake what-if situation in her head until she disappeared. He might as well be the Hitler of making people go. This is just how I see, but if you disagree with me, feel free to reply. In my opinion, while the direction was beautiful, I did shed a tear at the ending credit scene, ultimately found a good character ruined. That was a shortened version. So 2 pages long.
All right.
Wow.
Well put. Fair enough. Love it. Okay, so Zan, how about you? Well, it looks like we've got an empty room there. I think Zan left us temporarily. So up to you, Brad. Do you have one?
I had a really hard time like Matt coming up with any, but I guess the closest I could say is basically any of the main characters from main shonen anime. Like Naruto, Sasuke, Ichigo, I just end up liking them less and less and less as it goes on, and eventually I just hate them.
See, I started out not liking them, so I had a head start there.
I had too many ones where I loved them, hated them, and ended up loving them on the last bit.
Yeah.
Like
I just don't give a
July
shit
from
from
Phantom.
so I don't have to go through
That's
life
another thing.
and then hating them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like good animes. I'm surprised Eva didn't get 1,000 emails.
That's true. You know, you think, you know, Shinji and such.
Well, the thing with Shinji, like, he started off bad, then he got better, then he started off bad again.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Suzanne, how about you?
I have a character that I like and then just began to hate, but it's a very interesting way. Let's just get off saying it. It's Rasu from Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
And, you know, at first, you know, he seems like this very interesting character, grew up in a very religious environment, and felt that he should live in a very structured, ruled setting. Then, you know, Simone and Conrad came, and they're just like, you can't follow the rules, you end up dead. And he decided to follow them to see what life will be like out with this world of no real rules. And, you know, it was just very interesting. He seemed to be like the logical one, kind of like the straight man, I guess you could say. And he kind of ended up being Simone's sort of best friend, you know, about the same age. Then they grew up about, like, I think this time skip was 7 years. And Simone kept to be the same person that he ever was, while Ratsu changed. He's technically, like, Simone's vice, but, like, he changed, like, he makes up away from Simone, even though Simone's, like, the president, he's, like, the vice president. And Ratsu's the first character that I ever gave him the title Dickhead. And I give this title to anime characters who, they're on the side of good, but they're just dicks about it. One perfect example of this is Captain Yamamoto from Bleach, you know. He's like, I'm going to have you do this, but that's counterproductive. I'm old, do as I say. Yeah, just complete dicks. And Ratsu's just that. I mean, he was about to get Simone killed even in frickin' prison. Like, was that necessary?
Yeah.
Ratsu, really? Just, just Ratsu, dickhead. And he got a good redemption in the movie, which was he was about to kill himself with a gun. Then Simone came in, and in the series,
spoilers.
Spoiler attack, spoiler attack, spoiler attack.
Okay.
You can only spoil one episode if it's completely separate from everything.
Yeah.
Serious.
Technically was one episode, but
fair enough.
Anyway, but yeah, Rasu, you're a dickhead.
So I have one that's pretty darn obvious for anyone who's watched a lot of mecha, and particularly a lot of Gundam. Flay Ulster from Gundam Seed. Gosh dang it, woman! This is a girl who she starts out as the kind of spoiled rich girl who is just a spoiled rich girl. You know, she's not evil about it. She's nothing about it. You know, it's fine. And then certain dramatic things happen to her, and she turns into this complete manipulative psychopath. And she's like 15 years old, and you can understand why they were trying to say huge trauma leads to these things, but it's like, you know, complete personality shift as a result of this one major trauma, and it doesn't fly, and she just turns into one of these characters where every time you see her, you know she's about to make someone's life hell. And I don't know why they did this with her character. I don't know. I mean, I know they were trying to push characters in certain ways, but she just turned into a bad soap opera villain, where she's, I can mess up him now. It's like, come on. In a series that was trying to do a lot with a lot of different characters and trying to be, trying to have characters go through a lot of significant emotional growth, to have something that was so incredibly over the top. I mean, I think it's significant, the fact that about halfway through the series, she kind of disappears. Like, they stop doing anything with Flay for like 15 episodes. And I think it's because everyone hated her so much, it's like, okay, we gotta get her out of the way. It was just terrible. That character just really, I just despised her. And most characters Oh! Teeth thrilling. Really frustrating character. So that would be mine.
Actually, I thought of another one, sort of.
You already had one.
I ended up liking her in the last second. It was Cal Devons from Phantom.
You already had one. You already had yours.
Like Brent's whole reaction to that is like, you've had your turn. I can talk now. It's my turn to talk.
Yeah.
You may silence.
I must. You basically made this question so you could do that, Ran. You made
Actually,
No.
Okay.
Shut your mouth, you insolent fool.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And that's the case. That's.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
I've never gone from liking a huge amount to hating a character. You know, I've always
even a little bit though, because that's kind of like what it was for me and Brent at least. Like we kind of like, okay, she's okay, and then it was like, dick.
No,
even a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
No, if I like a character, I always like him.
And to be fair, you know, there are a lot of shows where once that starts happening to the characters, I switch off. But Seed's an example of a show where I liked everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, and she was a minor character, so I could give it.
Yeah, Naruto's a good example of that.
It's a slight example, really. It's not really the character, it's just more what the people did with the character, and that's Index. It's Wara Medusa no Index 2. She's just becomes a side character.
Yeah.
Which, you know, in the first episode, she's amazing. You know, the first episode of the second season, she's amazing and has this awesome role. And then she's just kind of put on the sidelines, which I sort of do and don't like, because I like Index's character. It's kind of a unique bond between her and Toma. But it means more Misaka Mikoto, so bonus.
Okay. So here's an interesting one for next week. And it actually ties in very well with what Matt just said, ironically enough. Name an anime's main character that you wish had been a side character. You know, someone who they spend a lot of time on that you wish, you know, I wish that had just been a side thing and another character had been pushed up.
I like 5 of those.
Pick one.
We each get one.
Aww. I have like 10.
Can I start writing the questions?
Wait, you start with
I know I
5?
can answer them.
You already have an answer. It's easy. Anyway, so that's the question for next week. So I think that's it for this week. So as always, I want to thank my hosts. Thank you, Brad, for joining us this week.
Lovely to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Matt, for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be entertained by you people, and always a pleasure to entertain you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Miniman.
Dope.
And thank you, Zan.
There's one way we must fight this. Narwhals.
Right. And with that, that'll be it. See y'all next week.
Sayonara. Bye-bye.